So here we are today. We're going to talk about your personal mobile app that you will share with your buyer clients. This is one of the most amazing technology tools. Everybody uses mobile when they go online today. And this has amazing features that will benefit your business forever. So please stay tuned. Watch this till the end so you can see all the amazing values and features and how to use this to your advantage. And here we go.
Alrighty, we'll go ahead and get started. I appreciate you guys for jumping on today. Scott had let me know that I think you guys had a uh, a luncheon or something that a lot of the agents would be attending today. So maybe a little bit lower of a crowd. But that's the reason we are going to record this, send it out, so this can be shared with the rest of the team. But appreciate you guys for joining live today. And feel free to let me know if you have any questions in the chat as we go. My name is Jeff Weiland. I am the Director of Enterprise Accounts here with Homestack. And if you're not familiar, Homestack is one of your partners, and we power the technology behind the Florida Luxury mobile app. Right. So hopefully you're familiar that you guys have a fully branded custom mobile app for home search, for client collaboration, as we're going to see today, and really to serve as a go-to resource that you're giving to your clients for all things real estate, to bring them back into your ecosystem time and time again, right? So, of course, this is a tool for you to use, but it's primarily a tool for your consumers, your clients to use to keep them off of the big name portals and keep your brand front and center. Not just the Florida Luxury brand, but you as an individual agent, you're going to be highlighted all across this app on every listing as the go-to trusted local professional, right? And especially in a luxury market, luxury clients, like with Florida Luxury Realty, right? It's so important to provide that sort of concierge, white glove service to say, hey, we have the exclusive, safe, secure home search app for all things fill in the blank, right? Tampa, wherever you are, this is the go-to real estate resource with up-to-date, accurate MLS data and a constant lifeline to me as your go-to trusted real estate advisor, right? And that's what we're going to look at today. Now, just to kind of set some expectations with the goal of this call, this is not really going to be so much of like a step-by-step training on how to download, how to do every little thing in the app. I'm going to point you to some resources for that. So if you are brand new or you've literally never accessed this app, just hang tight till the end. I will point you to the best getting started resources. We have two easy on-demand trainings you can access literally anytime to teach you the fundamentals, right? Getting logged in, setting up searches, adding users, all the things. Today, I wanted to specifically show you guys live on the call and anyone watching this recording some of the newer features that we've released in the app just this past year that really increase the collaboration efforts you can have with your clients to make this just really collaborative, a unique search experience that, as you're going to see, they're not going to get anywhere else. So today is really a highlight of a few specific features, and we're going to see how these things work together. I really just want to get you excited about the things that are in the app that I can almost promise you don't know about, right? So these are things that have come out over the last few months, things that are still rolling out. And I just want to get you guys excited about these specific features. And that way, when you see the why behind why you need to be using and adopting this app and why your clients need to be using it as well, then you're going to be encouraged to go and see the how, right, with these easy trainings as well. So again, just keep in mind because sometimes we go through these things and you're like, Jeff, this sounds awesome, but I've got more questions and answers. Totally understand, and I want to make sure you know where the resources are. But going to highlight a few of the fundamental features in the app, but really some of these newer features over the last few months that we're really excited about, of ways you can collaborate with your clients and give them a search experience unlike anything else they're going to get from a website, from the MLS, or anything like that, right? And so as you see on your screen here, we've got the Florida Luxury Realty app. If you don't already have this downloaded, make sure you've downloaded it from the App Store as an agent from either the Google Play or the Apple App Store. And if there's any issues getting logged in, maybe get with Scott and team just to make sure that they've added you in correctly. You should have received an email with your login credentials, email, password. Just let us know if you have any trouble getting logged in. We'll absolutely get it taken care of. And a good way to know you're logged in correctly, just a side note, is when you're logged into the app as an agent, if you kind of see where my cursor is, there's going to be that little circle that says Insights. We're going to look at that Insights page today, but that's kind of the agent hub. So your clients would not see that. So if you're logged in and do not see the Insights button along the bottom, you're probably logged in incorrectly as a client or consumer, and we want to make sure you get logged in correctly. But just let us know. We'll make sure to get that handled after this call. And no need to feel like you got to follow along live in the app or anything. If you don't want to, just kind of, listen and see what we got going on here. So first and foremost, just want to highlight the primary value proposition of the Florida Luxury Realty app, and that is the safe, secure, and exclusive home search, but specifically on mobile, right? So this is what we preach here at Homestack, the importance of mobile and having a mobile component in your tech stack. What I mean by that is me and you have jobs that keep us on our computer fairly often. Many people don't. And they're using their phone primarily to access the internet, to search for homes. We've all gotten those notifications from our phone that make us sick to our stomach, right? When it tells us and exposes our screen time, and it's like an ungodly amount of screen time, right? We've all been there, and then we all go turn that thing off so it stops telling us, and we feel better. Everybody else is the same, right? Everyone's on their phone. Every generation is primarily using their phone for home search, and that's why you need a mobile first component to your tech stack, which is what this app is, right? And naturally, the question is, well, how am I going to get my people to search on here versus Zillow, Realtor, et cetera, right? Fill in the blank. And it's all about creating this sense of exclusivity, security, around their data, right? So first and foremost, again, when you're working with, like, let's say a luxury client, hey, you don't need to be looking on Zillow, Realtor, fill in the blank. We have the go-to real estate resource for all things, fill in your local market, right? And this is where you're going to go for real-time data, accurate, up-to-date listing information. And I'm the only one that's going to see what you're doing. You're not going to get a million phone calls. Your data is not going to be sold to the next, agent down the street. And so that's really kind of the value proposition you want to give here. And of course, them just having a tool that they can access wherever they go. We're going to see some other tools and features as we go today that help them easily see all their search results in one place in the app without having to dig through their email or their spam folder. Ways to communicate and collaborate with you all through this resource, right? So you're keeping your clients off of the big name portals for their sake. They're not just another lead to be sold, and clients can use your app to search for listings exclusively within your ecosystem. All of this is tracked. You're always being notified when people are online, engaging, requesting showings, and their data secure. And Florida luxury listings are always featured, right? So if you log into this app and you guys are kind of looking at your location, you'll see those green pins are active listings. Blue pins are upcoming open houses. But if you see those purple pins, those are going to be featured Florida luxury listings. So they're always seeing you and your brokerage listings front and center. And really, the best part is you individually as the agent, right? So Diane, Christine, Sally, whoever's on there, when your users are assigned to you using the Florida Luxury app, they're only ever going to see you on every listing. They're not seeing the listing agent front and center. They're not seeing the Zillow Premier agent who's, throwing some money at it. They're seeing you, your brand front and center always as the go-to resource. And we have really improved some of the search capabilities. I'm not going to do a super deep dive into the search page today because it's, pretty basic stuff. And if you do want a rundown of that, definitely check out those getting started trainings I'm going to show you at the end. But want to show you just some of the ways we've continued to expand to really make sure that this experience aligns with any big name search portal or any other place that they can search, right? So I'm going to be doing most of my demo from my cell phone, as you see here, from our Homestack demo app, where I am logged in as an agent. But this is going to mirror your experience exactly. But, it's just going to show my location. And this is our Homestack demo app, right? So anytime your clients are logging in, or even you log in, it's going to pinpoint their location, show them those active listings in your area. And this is all pretty similar, right? Dragging around, clicking on the listing to see that listing preview, accessing the listing details, and getting all that information they need to see. Where we see Evie's name there, that's where your brand, you as the agent would be highlighted on every listing. But some improvements we've made here on the search map just over the past few months are things like multi-location searches. So in the past, through the app, you could really maybe just do like one polygon per search, maybe one area per search. Well, now you can do multiple. And so if we look down here on the right and we see that little finger with the line, you or your consumers can download this app and they can draw with their finger totally custom polygons to serve as their search location, right? I'm just going to draw some crazy shapes, click apply. And once my page loads, we see it'll show me any active listings in those three areas for one search, right? So I could click save that search and it would use those custom areas up to three totally separate ones to combine and aggregate that into one search. This is really helpful for you guys because I know especially like where people are at the beach, maybe they're looking for a waterfront property, that's not easy to search by just city or zip code, right? Or even neighborhood, whatever it may be. Like you literally may need to go along a coastline and circle where there would be houses, right? So being able to draw these totally custom polygons and up to three separate ones along a coastline or something like that, very valuable. So remember, that's that finger. In the past, you could draw one shape. Now you can do up to three. But same with the search bar, right? So if we were to come here and search, I were to click on a couple places in Florida, like that Newport Richey, that I know is in your area. We could click that. Once it loads, it would show me the listing results for Newport Richey. But if I wanted to add another city zip code, I could just go back into the search bar, and click on another one. And these are probably super far away, but it just happened to be in my search history, and it keeps those other ones highlighted. And so I could go in and highlight up to three totally separate areas for that one search. And I can even search by really granular things that maybe you used to not be able to do. Things like school district, MLS areas, neighborhoods, subdivisions. So we have gotten much more granular in how you and your consumers can search to make sure that they're getting just as good or even better of an experience than they're going to get anywhere else, right? Because we don't want to be lacking if we're trying to be that replacement for big name portals or something like that. And as always, you've got your filters in the top right, where you and your consumers can go in, add any additional filters to narrow down what they're looking for. And anytime you're kind of adding that criteria, they've always got that call to action to save the search with the criteria that's set and be notified, email, push notification. And that push notification piece is huge, guys. If you're not familiar, that's when you have an app downloaded directly on your phone, and that app is sending you notifications directly across your home screen. It's not an email, it's not a text, it's a literal notification directly from the app itself. And the reason that's so huge with home search is because it has very literally 100% deliverability. They are going to see it if they have the app downloaded. There's no way around it. 100% visibility. It's right in their face. It's always being delivered. Again, there's no chance of this going to spam, of not landing in their inbox. Wherever they are, they're going to get that push notification, bringing them right back into that ecosystem via push notification from the app. So again, don't want to spend too much time on just the actual search component, but we've constantly improved this over the past year to make sure that it's just continuing to align more and more, whether it's with multiple locations, whether it's more granular search by things like school district and so on. Want to keep you guys updated on the improvements there. And just remembering that call to action, right? That value proposition that you're giving to the clients of why they need to be using your app to search. All right, next up, a separate tool that we've put into your app. And I think this one's great because one, it's a lead capture tool for you to generate and capture new leads from your app. And it's also something that you can kind of just do day one if you've never done anything else, right? If you've never used this app, if you don't know all the bells and whistles, I like features like this because it's just a way to start and to get some people engaging with the app. And so perhaps you're doing a open house this Saturday, right? Good chance you are. Maybe it's not even your listing. You're holding someone else's listing open in hopes that you can leverage that for buyer leads. This is exactly what this tool is for, and this is our open house mode. And this is the ability for you to use your app on your cell phone or even on a tablet if you want to download it that way, and allow your app to serve as the open house registration form for those open house visitors. And a few things happen. So you see an example here, but in your case, this would have your headshot, your name, and a form that looks something like this that you could bring up. I'll show you how to do it here in a moment. But it's easy. Visitor walks in, they fill out this form on that tablet, on your cell phone, however you want to do it, and a few things happen instantly. That person is created as an app user within your app. So their account is created using the name, email, and phone number that they've input here. So they're already created and assigned to you. If you started the open house and you pulled up the form, they're going to be assigned to you 100%. Then they instantly receive an invite to download the app. Great talking point at the open house, right? Hey, sign up. You're going to get a text or an email inviting you to our Florida Luxury app, an amazing home search tool where you can find our listings, other open houses. You're not going to get a million phone calls from other agents. Go ahead and download that and even click on this listing once you're in there and you can look at the listing details while you walk around, right? Also, they're going to be put into your dashboard. We're going to look at this in a second if you're not familiar, but we have a computer dashboard version for you as an agent just to do some kind of lead management back end stuff. So that person's going to be brought in to your dashboard where they're going to be a lead for you. They're going to be tagged that they came from an open house and whether or not they indicated if they were already working with an agent, all that's going to be visible with a note that says exactly which open house they came from. So you'll have access to all that history to follow up accordingly. And if they download the app, they're going to be notified of any updates around that listing, right? Price change, status change, anything. So, and they'll even automatically start receiving listings that are similar to that within a certain kind of variable range of that price point. So it's a great way to get them in the app, to keep them notified, and for you to be able to follow up well beyond, the walls of that open house. And so real quick, I want to show you how easy it is to do this. And this is something I'd really challenge you to do, this weekend if you've got an open house, right? No more pen and paper, scribble their name, you get back and you can't read it, right? We've all been there. So this is as simple as you as the agent arriving at the open house. Um, you find the listing you are holding open. So let's just, find a random one here on the map. We'll go with this guy. And so let's say this is the listing that I, as the agent, am holding open. I open my app. I find that listing. I can search for it or just click on it. And once we're on this listing detail page, you just need to click these three dots in the very top right corner. Those three dots, very top right. And you'll see open house mode as an option there. So if we click open house mode, we've got a picture of that listing. We've got that little message there. Again, this would all be branded for you. I'm just in my demo. And that form that they would fill out, name, email, phone number. Are you working with an agent? Yes or no. Remember, that'll all be highlighted for you on the back end. And bam, they just sign in, right? And that's them signing into your open house. And then instantly they're going to be created in the app, invited to download, assigned to you, and continuously notified, not just on the life cycle of that listing, but even similar listings as the one that they came to visit. So really encourage you guys to do this. Real quick, I will show you what this kind of looks like in that dashboard version, and maybe a good chance just to kind of show you guys how to access that as well. Let's see here. Let's see. Sorry, guys, hopping around a few different screen shares. Let me stop sharing. Always fun switching from cell phone to computer, cell phone to computer. Here we go. All right, you should see my screen again. So if you're not familiar, you as the agent do have essentially a desktop kind of back-end system for your app that you can access by going to dashboard.homestack.com, and I'll pop that in the chat. Dashboard.homestack.com. Once you go there, you literally log in with your exact same email and phone number that you use to log in as an agent to your app. And this is going to kind of be, just your back-end system here. Now, while I'm here, I'm just going to go ahead and show you. This is also where you access those getting started trainings that I've mentioned. So if you're new and you want like brand new getting started training, go to dashboard.homestack.com, log in, and along this left side, you scroll down to training, and you'll see the app kickstart webinar and the advanced features and marketing webinar. These are the two trainings that you can register for. So if we were to click on App Kickstart Webinar, this is literally just going to teach you how to download, get logged in, basic navigation, housekeeping items like putting in your headshot, all that kind of good stuff, right? So you'll see when you click on that webinar, there's usually like 10 sessions per day you can register for. You see there's one starting in a few minutes. It's a webinar, and there's always someone live on the chat to answer any questions you have. So you see you'll cover all the great getting started stuff, and advanced features and marketing is going to take it a step further to kind of cover all that. But specifically, the marketing section is really valuable because that's going to teach you how to market your app, how to get app downloads. Because that's really the unique challenge of the app is you may really like it, but your clients have to like it and engage as well. So this is where you're going to learn some best practices around getting people to download different marketing best practices and things like that. So just while I'm here, I wanted to highlight that kind of a rabbit hole, but App Kickstart webinar, advanced training, always there for you to get the training you need to really get started. And this is going to teach you all about this dashboard as well, right? So you'll learn everything about this dashboard in those trainings. Just want to show you that you'll have an entire open house section here on the left where you'd be able to see any of your recent open house visitors, exactly which listing they came from, their user information, all that kind of good stuff, whether or not they're working with an agent. So you've got a full log of your open house visitors. And if you were to go to your users, you could just find that person and they should have a tag of, that they came from an open house, what open house they came from, things like that. So here, if we filter by tags, let's say open house mode, right? Here, let me get rid of this. There we go. Sorry, I was in there as Jeff Test. I was putting in Jeff Weiland. So we see there, Jeff Test came in from an open house, tagged open house mode. And if I were to click on Jeff, we'd see his information and a note about exactly which property he came in for. So you can go to that open house section to see a running log, or you can find those individual users with that open house tag or the open house has agent tag, which are going to be people that did indicate they have an agent. So really great tool for you to really use day one to get some buyer leads with zero overhead and leverage the open houses you're already doing. I did see somebody ask a question about the QR code. If you select QR code on that page, that's literally going to be a QR code that would direct that person to that listing in your app. So that'd be a great thing if you want to like highlight one of your listings or even maybe do a flyer with that QR code. It's a QR code that would prompt someone to download, assign to you, and take them to that listing, right? So a really great way to kind of direct people to a listing. So that's that QR code. When you click the three dots, you see the two different ones. QR code would direct them to that listing if they scan. They would need to download first if they haven't already done so. But definitely great to put on marketing materials and things like that. Great question, though. All right, next up, this is something that's kind of, been improved over the last week or so, but especially when we're thinking of things like collaboration, right? Like how are we presenting this app to seem valuable to your clients and a way for you guys to collaborate, through their real estate journey, and that is with improved showing management. So letting your clients know that if they have your app, they're searching for homes, they can easily request and manage showing requests to you directly through the app. Now, just a side note, I'll walk you through how to do this, but once they've requested a showing and you've kind of confirmed the time, obviously you still need to go about scheduling it with the listing agent or through showing time or whatever, right? This is more so you confirming with your clients the day and time. And so in the past, really all there was a button that said schedule showing. They would click that, and you as the agent would just receive a notification that they've requested a showing, and you would kind of need to do all the follow-up beyond that. But we've improved this now, where when a client is looking at a listing, they're going to have the constant call to action on a listing that says, request a showing. If they click request a showing, it'll bring up a calendar where they can choose the exact date they would like to see it, along with a drop down of times. So they select a date and time and they send that request to you. You, as the agent, are instantly notified that your client has requested a showing. And then it's going to look something like this for you on the right, where you would see the property they've requested to see, who the user is, of course, and their requested date and time. You have three options now. You can accept that time, and they'll know that you've accepted, the time for that showing. You could click suggest a different time where you kind of pop in a different day and time and it sends them kind of a counter that they can accept. Or you can click cancel to kind of reject the showing entirely. And you'll have a log of all of this on the back end as well. So let me try to show you this in action as well. But again, really just the logic here is that they can easily collaborate and request and manage the showings that they want to see with you all in one place through your personal app. So let me hop into my demo again and see if we can hop around kind of between an agent view and a user. So let me see here. Let me find an app where I am in as a consumer. So I'm just going to go to another client's app real quick. These people are nowhere near you. They're all the way up in Pennsylvania, but I had their app on my phone and I'm just logged in as one of their consumers, right? And so let's say I was a consumer on their app and I click this listing and I want to schedule a showing. We see that button that they would see on your app as well, schedule a showing, where we can select the date and send that request. Well, hang on, let's see here. Sorry, guys. Trying to find a good example for you. Maybe easier just for me to give you the agent view. Sorry, that wasn't really a good example on that app. So let me hop back into our demo. We'll just look here. So if we go over here to our Insights button, there in the app, you have a constant running log of viewing requests. If I click on that, we can see it here. So it's pretty straightforward for the consumer, right? They click schedule showing, day, time, send the request. This is where you as the agent would kind of be notified and see all this. In this case, I've already booked it, but we see that address, we see the user. The status says booked because I had accepted it. But if I click reschedule, that would kind of be the same as like sending that counter to request a new day and time, where I could come in as the agent, select a new day and time, and even give a message of why, and go ahead and send that counter. Or I could cancel it entirely. So again, you would be receiving any notifications of this. And there's also a place to do this in your dashboard as well. And so let me show you guys this if you're ever on the computer version and want to see that as well. Sorry, guys, just got to make sure I'm sharing the right screens. Let's see here. Sorry, here we go. All right, sorry. I think we're back. Up in the dashboard here, we were looking at the open house section. Right above the open house section on the dashboard, you'll also see a showing section where you would see any requested showings. You could filter by user, name, anything like that. And if we were to click on one of these, we can also manage it here, right? Reschedule, cancel showing, even add it to your calendar if you want to. And the little pipeline you can filter by here is just if it's pending, that means it's just been requested. If it's negotiating, that just means that you've kind of sent back a new requested time. And booked, of course, is booked, and canceled is canceled. Nothing you really need to do there. It's just going to be automatically organized based off of kind of that process. So improved showing management, great kind of way just to get your clients engaging as well, if they know and feel like your app can kind of just be the go-to place to do that without all the back and forth anywhere else. And remember, every time they're looking at houses, every time they come in to schedule a showing, that's just a way they're bringing them back constantly into that same ecosystem, really combining all this and creating some great opportunities for you to follow up, like we're going to see here. All right, so moving on from there, this is probably the one we're most excited about, this and kind of the next slide, because they really go hand in hand. And I think this is really kind of the highlight of the collaboration aspect that's pretty unique to the app, because you might say, okay, home search, maybe even open house, showings, we can do that other places, but I really think this is super unique to your app. And that's the way that clients are able to favorite properties and categorize them into these really nice, easy to access custom lists. And we essentially like to say that this is like Pinterest for real estate. So traditionally, the way this experience works elsewhere is, maybe client receives a listing from the MLS. They can put maybe a little heart or a thumbs up, and then it stops there, right? Maybe you're notified, but you don't know why they like it. You don't know what they liked about the property. And after they've looked at, 200 houses, they're going to forget what they liked about that property too. You've just got this massive list of houses that have just, been thumbs up or put a heart on, and there's really no information beyond that. So what this solves is when your clients are using your app to search and they favorite listings, what happens is they're instantly prompted to create these custom titled lists. So think of things like dream home list, big backyards, amazing kitchens, and so on, right? These different categories. When they favorite a property, they can then organize that favorited property into one of their lists. So if they favorite a property with a big backyard, they're going to put that maybe into their dream backyard list. So that way they know I favored this property because it had a killer backyard. And you, as the agent, know that too, right? Oh, Jeff liked this property because of the backyard. Maybe you've got investors that are looking for short-term rental opportunities, right? And he creates a list, short-term rental opportunities. He puts a favorite, puts it into a short-term rental opportunity list. So it kind of creates like these little Pinterest boards around their favorite properties. And I'll show that to you here in a moment. But also what happens is as soon as they favorite a property, drop it into one of their custom lists, they're also asked to identify exactly which traits they liked about that property. We see that on the screenshot here. Of course, you once again have that call to action to schedule a tour, so it kind of creates that opportunity for you. But you see here, they have the option, now this is totally optional, to even highlight which traits did you like about it. Was it the backyard? Was it the location? And so on. And what this does, if your clients identify the traits that matter to them as they favorite properties, the app is literally going to use AI to kind of create like an algorithm, right? Just like your social media does, to show them listings that more align with these traits. They literally might even see photos of these things closer to the front of a gallery, right? If they keep saying kitchen, 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 that's what's important to me. They literally might see photos of the kitchen closer to the front so they don't have to dig for it. So it kind of uses AI to create this curated, customized, personalized home search experience, making sure they see more of what matters, right? So we've kind of got this fun, collaborative, experience with favoriting and creating these Pinterest boards of properties, but also letting your clients know that, hey, my app is going to always make sure that you see properties that most align with the traits that are important to you. And I can show you that in action. And our next slide is really going to be about a way we've improved this for you as the agent to even create similar lists and share them over to your clients. So I'll get to that in a second, but I want to kind of look at the basic functionality first and foremost. Hopping back into my cell phone here, we're going to kind of look at the client experience first, right? So clients using your app to search for houses. Now let's just choose maybe, we'll choose this guy here. So we find this listing, and let's say your client wants to favorite this. Right up beside those same three dots we saw earlier, we see that heart icon where they can favorite properties. When they click favorite, they would see their list that they've created. Now, remember, I'm in my demo, so we've created all kinds of crazy ones. If they were new to your app, they wouldn't have any. They would need to just click create a new list, where they would give it a title and go ahead and add it to that new list to begin going from there. And they can create a bunch of these as you see. But if they do already have lists that they've been adding into, they can just highlight with that little check mark which one they want to add it into. And so maybe we do backyard dreams, right? So I like this backyard. I want to add this property into backyard dreams. We could even add it into multiple. But if I just want to add it to backyard dreams, I highlight that and add it to the list. Literally, as soon as I do that, we see that trait pop up here that we saw in my slides. So we've successfully added to my backyard dreams list. Would I like to schedule a tour? And if I go through that process, I could schedule a tour. And here, let me go back to that screen. Sorry about that. There we go. And we see those traits below, right? So I put this in my backyard dreams list. So maybe I say I like the backyard, location, and affordability. Done. There's really nothing else to it. And that's when the app kind of begins collecting data to make sure they see more listings that align with those traits. Now, the way they actually see those favorite lists, though, is, we're back on our kind of main screen. We've got search there at the bottom. But if we go over a couple to favorites, that's where a consumer would literally see the favorite list they've created. Like Backyard Dreams, we've got 16 listings in there. So I could click there and see all the listings that I favorited because they have my dream backyard. We see examples like that short-term rental opportunities. So an easy way for them to categorize and organize the listings they like. And so you as their agent know why they like it, and they can easily, see that information as well. Really unique experience, I think, that they really can't do anywhere else with that kind of organizing and making it just, a fun way to organize their listings by exactly what they like about it. All right. So our next slide is going to really kind of build upon that with our all new shareable lists. And this, kind of is more on the agent side. So we put our agent hat back on. We kind of call these, collections, shareable lists, things like that. We're kind of figuring out the perfect name for this, especially as we kind of build out future versions of this as it becomes more collaborative. But this is something that really just released here in the past couple weeks. And to give you an idea of our logic with this, so in the past, the app did not have a way for an agent to really like hand pick a list of properties and send them over to a client directly through the app. Now you could set up an automated search, but of course that's not hand picked, right? That's sending them automated properties based off of filters. Or, a client could one by one go share properties, but that takes a long time. Agents wanted the ability to handpick a list of properties that they know match their clients' needs and share them directly. Again, this is very important, especially from a luxury perspective, right? You've got picky clients, and filters don't often capture every aspect of what they've communicated with you that they're looking for. And that's the quickest way to really upset somebody, as you know better than I do, is, hey, you're sending me properties that don't actually match what I'm looking for. And so this really solves that problem. And so the way this works, and the reason it's kind of tied to our last slide, is because when you, as the agent, are logged in, you can favorite properties in the exact same way. When you favorite a property, you will also be asked to create one of those lists. But this list can then be shared over to your client. So you're making the favorite list, and then you can literally go in and give access to either an individual client or even multiple. So multiple people have access to this list. And that way you're saying, hey, I've hand curated, hand picked this list of properties for you that I can constantly add into, right? They're going to be notified when you've shared a list with them. And as you continue to add properties into the future, they'll be notified every time their agent has added a property, hand picked a property for this exclusive list that they've provided to them. Now, when we're thinking of doing this with multiple people, a good example would be kind of like what we mentioned earlier. Let's think short-term rental opportunities. Maybe you have a lot of investors in your area and you're finding these great investment opportunities. And you go on social media and say, hey, let me know if you want access to my exclusive list of short-term rental opportunities that I've put together. And people say, I want access, right? Well, they download the app and you can have that one list. It's one list that you're adding into, but let's say you give 10 potential investors access to it. None of them would see each other. None of them would have any clue the other had access, but it would live individually in all of their own favorite sections as a list that was shared to them by you. So really cool opportunities there, to kind of create these exclusive lists of maybe hot listings in your area, investment opportunities, giving multiple people access to it. Or if this is just a matter of giving one person access to a hand curated list for them, you can do that as well. And I'll show you how to do this. But it really kind of works the same way with just a few extra steps. So just to kind of save time here, everything works the same as far as creating the favorite list. So you're logged in as an agent, you find a listing, you click that same heart, you create a list, or you add into a list just like the consumer did that we just saw. And you as the agent will also have that favorite section where you'll see these lists just like this, except they're ones you've created. Your clients would see ones they've created. Now, once you've created these lists, you go to that favorite page, and in the very top right corner, you're going to see kind of that grid button. Very top right, those six little squares. We're going to click there. And I would then kind of have this long list of any favorites that I've created. And we see like that example of short-term rental opportunities there. We see the name of my list with that little share kind of network button to the right, those dots with the lines. Whatever list I want to share, I'm going to click that share button, and then I just search for the user or the lead that I want to give access to. And so Evie's my test lead in this case. I can just start searching for Evie, click on her name. Evie is highlighted, and I can even give her a little message that she'll receive when she gets this list. I could say, handpicked just for you. Let me know what you think, right? You can put whatever message you want there for her to receive. And when you click share in the top right, she'd be notified. And the way she's going to access this is she would go, she could obviously click on the notification, but at any point she can click on her own favorite section. And across the top, there would be a shared with me folder she can click on, and she sees the running list that has been shared with her, and she's notified every time a new property comes in. Now, if we wanted to add multiple people to this list, we just go back to the search and start looking for somebody else. So maybe it's Scarlett. I could give Evie and Scarlett access. Remember, neither one of them are going to see each other. Nothing's going to affect one another. Scarlett would have it in her favorites, Evie would have it in hers, and they're both being notified. And so if this is something like a hand curated list you're wanting to maintain and give people exclusive access to, this is the way you do it. You click share, and they're immediately notified. Now, at any point, if you want to remove somebody from a list or just stop sharing entirely, you go to this same exact page and you're going to click that little people icon in the very top right again. You see the names of your list. Click the drop down. You'll see who it's currently being shared with. If I wanted to remove Evie, I can just remove Evie. If I wanted to remove Scarlett, I could remove her, or I could stop sharing the list entirely. So this is how you as an agent can add and manage those custom lists to be able to have hand curated properties and your app be the means for them to access that. I think that's really important, especially probably for the type of clients you guys are working with and the nature of the market right now of really being set apart kind of as that local expert. You know the market better than anybody. You're going to kind of provide that personalized touch, being able to really find the things that match with your clients and using it as that call to action, right? Hey, let me know if you want access to an exclusive list, to the hottest listings under this price point, fill in the blank, right? So really excited about that new feature we added a few weeks ago. All right, working through a couple more of these. Next, we're going to look at our insights and activity. So these are two different things, but really some other ways we're kind of making this a unique search experience with the activity page and also using some AI with the insights page. So just to talk you through this real quick, we see on the right kind of a screenshot of the insights. So that's that circle button at the bottom we've talked about. That's your agent hub where you're going to get really app-wide reporting and analytics for what people are doing in the app, but also for individuals, right? If I were to click on Scarlett here, what is Scarlett doing? What is she looking at? I can see the showing she's requested. I can see, everything to do with her there in Insights. And I'm even going to be able to do things like generate AI generated reports, sort of like ChatGPT style reports based off of listings she's viewed, favorites, or even things like a suggested saved search, right? So, hey, AI, suggest a search that Scarlett would like based off of what she's looked at. I'll show you that in action here in a moment. And to the left, a little screenshot of the activity feed. If you're looking at the bottom of your app, that's going to be the lightning bolt right to the left of the favorites. And when you hear activity feed, you kind of just your brain goes to just like general notifications, right? And it's kind of different in our case. So the purpose of the activity feed in the Florida Luxury app is it's very normal for you to have a client set up on multiple saved searches. with different criteria, right? You may have houses with pools, waterfront properties, and then everything else, right? Three different searches for one person because they have different criteria. Well, currently their experience would be, through the MLS or your IDX website, those are just going into their email, many of which are going to spam, and they have to go dig for that. And they don't know which email notification came from what search, and it's just a mess. The reason the activity page is so great and really solves a problem is because even if somebody is set up on one or three or 10 searches, they can click on their activity page as a consumer, and it funnels all of their latest listing search results into one feed. And it tells them exactly which listing has come in, exactly which one of their searches it came in for, all in one place. So instead of digging through their email, checking spam, it's wake up, grab my phone, click activity, and I, as your client, can see every new listing that's come in across all my different searches and exactly what came from which search. One place they can go for all the up-to-date stuff around their searches. Now, for you as the agent, when you click on activity feed, your consumer would only see their searches. But if you, as the agent, click on the activity feed, it'll actually let you see all of the latest listing results across all of your users. So let's say you've got 20 people using your app, all on multiple searches. You could literally see everyone's search results in one place, and it would show you who got what listing, which one of their searches it came in for, and you could filter down by specific user and specific searches. I'll show you that now, and then we'll look at that insights page as well. But definitely a little bit easier just to kind of see this live in the app. So we'll kind of put our client hat back on first. So let's pretend we're a consumer. And I'll say Evie, right? So I'm going to click on Evie and we're going to pretend, that we're Evie. And um, I've got multiple searches as Evie. So she would log into her app, click activity, and across the top, she sees all of her different searches. We've got her set up on a bunch because she's just our test lead. But across the top, those are her totally separate automated searches. And without clicking on any of those, if we just start scrolling, she sees this new listing came in for her summer 2024 listing search. We keep scrolling down. This listing came in recently for her Mesa Verde search. We keep scrolling, some more from summer 2024, and so on and so on. So every time a listing comes from any of those searches, it's going to just be in one running feed, and she can easily see what the search was and what the listing was, and she can access all of those easily. If she wants to filter by a specific search, she just clicks that, summer 2024 listings, and she sees everything in one place. So you can see how this is so much easier than having to dig through emails, especially when you've got multiple searches. One hub to manage all search results. Now, if I back out of here, this is going to be more of the agent view. And so the difference is I can kind of see my recent users up top, where if I wanted to filter by one of them, I could. Or I can just start scrolling. And I've kind of got an extra piece of information there, which is the username. So I, as the agent, can log in each morning and I see that my client, Leilani, uh, got that listing from her two-bed, two-bath Haddonfield search. These are some examples here. And then if I scroll down, I see Evie got that listing from that summer 2024 search like we saw. And it's literally one running feed where it's telling me what client got what listing from what search. So this kind of aggregated feed for you to see all the listing results across your different users, to manage that, but also your users have one place they can go in their activity feed to see all of their search results as well. I think that's such a more seamless experience than digging through emails, digging through spam, and another way to continue just to bring them back into that same ecosystem, of the app time and time again. So next, we'll hop back in. Sorry, I should have just stayed on cell phone view. We're going to look at the insights page next. Pull that back up here. And so we've looked at search, activity, favorites, and now we'll go back to that circle, insights. So when I first come to the insights page, remember your clients won't have this. This is just for you as the agent. You're going to see things like recent active users, that running list of the showing requests, all kinds of app-wide reporting like listings viewed, price points. We're not going to look at all this. Most of this is clickable. You can kind of explore this on your own time. Just reporting around app usage and engagement, even things like most active times. When are my people most active? Maybe that's when I want to send them a chat, through the inbox or something like that. But I can also click over here on users and search for specific individuals, right? So maybe it is Scarlett, right? So we've looked at her a few times. So I can search Scarlett, and this is where I, as the agent, can see everything about Scarlett on my app. I can communicate with her directly. I can see her activity feed from there, recent search results, all of that, right? So reporting around just Scarlett. So definitely check this out because, this type of data is really what gives you the insights you need to create those actionable opportunities to convert these people, right? But what I do want to show you is that button that's kind of floating around everywhere we go that says Insights Report. And that's going to kind of be that ChatGPT style report. So I'll go ahead and click Suggest to Save Search because it takes a minute to kind of generate and talk you through this. So in this situation, let's say Scarlett has downloaded our app. She's actively engaging, but we don't really have her on a search because maybe she's never quite told you what she was looking for. This type of report literally can look at all of the listings she's viewed, favorited, clicked on, and suggest a search based off of that. Now, Scarlett's a test lead, so her criteria may be pretty wonky. Yours would be much more dialed in. But we see an example at least, right? Based on Scarlett Road's activity, she's looking at things in Santa Monica, LA, 3 to 4 bedroom, 2 to 3 bath, up to 3 million, yada, yada, yada. So it literally kind of gives me this full ChatGPT style report of everything she's doing. So I know what type of search I could set her up on. And I could even just click create a saved search. It'll autofill all of those fields once I just kind of confirm the area and I can just save that search directly. So it can suggest a search using AI, and in 2 clicks, we can apply that same search to make sure that she's receiving properties based off of that suggestion. And we see some other examples there of, a favorites report, what kind of properties is she favoriting, listings viewed. So a really cool way that AI is being baked in there just to give you more information to help convert these people, get them on drips, bring them back in. So insights, great reporting, data, and analytics, AI-powered reports to give you the information you need, and that activity page where all their search results can be accessed and managed all in one easy to access place. All right, here. And we're coming up on the hour, and so we're going to kind of wrap up there. And I did want to highlight one other quick thing to you guys. So I did already show you in the dashboard how to access those other trainings. So if you're new and you're like, this all seems really cool, but I've got a bunch more questions and I don't even know how to get started, get in there, watch those 2 initial trainings to kind of give you everything you need. This was not even close to an exhaustive list of the features. There's so much more. These are just a few that have come out over the past few months that we're excited about. So I just wanted to kind of get you excited about the type of collaboration you can offer to your clients through the app. Tons of more features and value that you're going to learn about through there. So check those out. But like we mentioned earlier, a huge part of the app is your ability to market the app, right? To actually get people using it and engaging. Because all this type of stuff we've looked at today doesn't really matter if no one's actually in the app and using it. So we understand the importance of app marketing, which is exactly why we're doing this. And I kind of always give the example of an open house, right? If you're going to do an open house this Saturday, but you don't tell anybody you're there, it's kind of useless, right? You're wasting your Saturday. You have to market the open house, email newsletter, social media post, Facebook Live, balloons at the end of the driveway, right? Whatever it is, you have to let people know you're there to get them there to create opportunities, right? So the opportunity that comes from the open house is kind of based around what you do around it. The app is the exact same way. So much value, so much opportunity can come from the app, but you have to get people in there. They have to know that's where you are. That's how to access you. That's the go-to resource for their home search in your local market. And once they're there, you start getting all these great opportunities like we talked about today. But it requires that you have the habit to market your app on social media. at those open houses, at your first buyer consultation, the constant call to action to download their app. And so we like to do this competition at the end of the year. December 11th is National App Day. And of course, here at Homestack, apps are our thing, right? So that's our Super Bowl, right? Is National App Day. And so December 11th, from now until then, we're doing a competition for the agents, teams, and brokerages that can do the best marketing around their app. So this is, a Facebook Live. This is an Instagram reel, a post, whatever it is, where you're going to market the Florida Luxury app with that call to action download. You're going to tag us, and we're going to, give you lots of great stuff, recognition, share the post, and prizes. Now we have an entry form. I'm going to pop right into the chat here that you can access. So you can click on this link and kind of check it out on your own time. But you see here, December 11th, National App Day, giving prizes to agents, teams, and brokers who post the most engaging app video or posts. Get ready to showcase your app in style, gain users, and be the best of Homestack. So another little special twist is once you enter, you're going to receive a 30-day guide on how to get users in your app, market your app, capture and convert leads. That's what you see here, a day-by-day guide with simple, actionable strategies to gain app users. So if you use this form to enter, even if you don't do a post, if you just use this form to enter, as you see where it says enter here, you'll just put in your name and your email. We're going to make sure that you get that 30-day guide on your app. Let me get back to that original link. Just for app marketing stuff. But you see the other rules for the actual video, create a quick video, reel, or post talking about the benefits of your app. Post it to social media between now and December 10th. Tag at Homestack Apps. Make sure you guys follow us on social media as well. Tons of great inspiration there. And use the hashtag National App Day. So enter on the form. If you guys want to enter the contest, definitely do so. And we have put together a couple little Canva templates that I'll make sure to send over to Scott and his team to kind of share with you guys after this, where you would really just kind of need to go in and, update the verbiage a little bit, pop in your own headshot and logo, but it at least gives you a nice little template to work off of. So that way you can access a template, pop in a few pieces, and it takes some of the work off to market your app. So you guys definitely do that, and excited to see what you guys put together. And it says, Christine, you said it is asking what our app name is. Yeah, just put Florida Luxury Realty, just so we know who you're with. So yeah, just go ahead for the app name, Florida Luxury Realty. Awesome. And I'll make sure to send out those templates as well, just to kind of help you guys market. One other thing, just kind of with that, if you're ever in that dashboard.homestack.com, another resource that you have on the left is a little marketing tab. And for you, that would have Florida Luxury's app logo. I'm just in my demo, but if you ever wanted to copy and paste your app logo, you have that. A little place where you can copy and paste the images of the App Store icons. So those are just for looks, right? To have those App Store icons on there. You would have your direct invite link. Now you can learn about a lot of that kind of stuff on that marketing training of, your direct links, QR codes. You individually have your own methods of inviting to make sure people are assigned to you when they download. But in here you have that direct link. So this is the link people can use to download the app and always be assigned to you. And your own custom QR code here that would take people to the App Store to download and assign to you. So that marketing section of your dashboard, you can access your app logo, App Store badges, your link, your QR code, all for those marketing purposes. But we'll make sure to send out this recording. Again, I know you probably have more questions and answers. Make sure you watch those 2 trainings in the dashboard. Never hesitate to let us know if you have any questions. Definitely enter to get that 30-day guide, and try your best to put together some sort of video. I know everyone's always shoving, social media down your throats, but at least you've got something to post about this week. So I've at least given you some inspiration. Thank you guys for joining. Hope this kind of got the creative juices flowing around what the app can do and some of the value there. And again, not even close to an exhaustive list of everything the app can do. You'll get all that in those other 2 trainings, and we'll do some more of these after the new year. So thank you guys. Have a great rest of your week. Happy Thanksgiving. Merry Christmas. See you guys after the new year.